What reasons are there to learn Spanish? There are hundreds, aren't there? Some of the best ones are to do with travel. I had a comment on one of my videos saying, why are you sitting in your car in the rain? Which is perfectly valid because I record most of these in the car. But the real reason is because I live in the UK and the weather is often grey and miserable. So travel and being able to speak a language allows you to go beyond just holidaying and looking into the prospect of maybe living somewhere or working, especially if you're younger. You're a little bit more flexible, you've got no family connections, you're not married, or you don't have a partner, you don't have kids, then you can go and be somewhere and live there and speak the language. That's amazing. So travel for weather. It might be you like the cold and it's not cold enough where you are. It doesn't have to be the heat. I mean, I don't like the beach. I know that sounds weird, but I just really don't. As long as I've got a book and I'm under the shade, I'm fine. But no, not a big fan of the heat. But winter here, not so great. My videos tend to have a random amount of winter clothing wrapped around me. But I often think about when we lived in Peru and it was hot pretty much all year round, hot and wet or hot and dry. We had rainy season and dry season, and you could kind of depend on the weather, and you could book things weeks, months in advance, and you knew that it would be fine. You could book anything and plan anything, any event, indoors or outdoors. So yeah, travel's a big one for me. The ability to move around and get to know a place. South America I talk about a lot because I spent a number of years in Peru, living and working there. My wife and I ran a hostel. It was a homestay, a hostel. We were on Airbnb, we were in Lonely Planet, on TripAdvisor. We were the 4th ranked B&B in Peru at one point, and it was great. We loved having people stay with us, show them the farm, take them on a coffee tour, get them processing their own coffee. We did that in English, French and Spanish, and it was always lovely to be able to welcome tourists from other parts of South America or talk to families from the United States who maybe also spoke Spanish because that's where their roots were. It was fab. Having the French as well was a big boost because we had a lot of French travellers come and stay with us. The French are pretty adventurous actually. They travel loads, and particularly in South America. You get a lot of French in Cusco, Peru. Canadians as well. But I still think the most of our guests were North American, probably couples in their 30s was the average guest that we had. And we would take them around and sometimes take them to local parties if there was something going on, and we'd do translation work for them and let them know what was going on. But it was a real privilege to be able to do that. So I've travelled with my languages, and I've been a host as well of people travelling, and there's never a situation where being able to speak a language has made things worse. I remember my sister-in-law's wedding. She's from Peru and she married a French guy, and at the reception there were people from my family, so British people. There were people from obviously my wife's family and my sister-in-law's family from Peru, and there was the groom's family from France. So I spent a great portion of the several hours at the dinner table, because the French do like to eat, about 12 courses, I can't remember, translating from French into either English or Spanish, English into either French or Spanish, and you know what I mean, sort of three-way translations between all of the different people. It was great. I mean, I was knackered at the end of it, but it was fab. Yeah, what a thing to be able to do. So travel, that's why I would start a language if I were young, and if I was older, that's the same reason. The closer you get to a retirement, if you're lucky enough to be in a country where that's an option, then you've got to try and see as much of the world as possible, right? Get to know as many people as possible. You start caring a little less about, hopefully, little differences. I know there's a lot of tension in the world and separations and people banding into little groups, but I think generally most decent people tend to want to just get along with everybody at the end. If you can talk more languages, you can talk to more people. There's some fascinating people I've met that speak Spanish and French. People that I just don't find in the English-speaking world. They have a different view on the world. Not necessarily better or worse, but just a different perspective. A language comes with a feeling, with a culture. It comes with a certain way of looking at the world. And that's always fascinating. So, get out there, move about, travel, see as much of the world as you can. If you've got a bit of language under your belt, that really helps. And you do not need to be perfect. You don't need to be degree level. You just need to be able to communicate, and it can be broken Spanish. Who cares? Get out there and speak, have some fun, make some new friends, eat some delicious food, and yeah, no one knows how much time they've got left, so you might as well enjoy it, right?